but back then, most people who would start reaction channels didn't hire editors. A lot of times, a lot of people still don't, but most of us had to learn how to edit in order to do it. Like a lot of most of YouTube, most of the time Real Reach existed, I was the main editor. And when we're filming like movie reactions or show reactions, a big part of us performing, I guess, is we're aware of the edit while we're doing it.
Totally.
So then it could like mess with when we have to be engaged or be feeling something when something's going wrong, or you're aware of what someone else is doing or saying. And so when something like this is happening, I'm like thinking about the edit. I gotta remind the sound people. I gotta do all these
time
things.
Code this 12 minutes into my brain.
Yeah. So what would you say? Let me just transition then to the reaction side. How have you been enjoying doing the reaction videos?
It's a love. I wouldn't say it's a love-hate relationship. That's too exaggerated, but it definitely goes up and down. Like there's moments where I'm like, this is so fun. I love doing this. And I've definitely had moments where I'm like, is this my last week of doing YouTube? Am I sick and tired of this? Because it's exactly what you said. You know, a lot of times we're our own tech people. We're our own editors, and you'll set everything up, you'll put everything in focus, you'll hit record on the computer, and you start recording, and you realize you didn't hit record on the goddamn sound recorder. And you see the red light, and you're like, if I just go over there, we're leaving everything in the edit, baby.
I just literally spilled all this tea on me. Like,
we're spilling the tea, literally and figuratively.
I was like, he's going. I'm gonna take a little sip here right now. And the whole lid just came up. Oh my god! This is the most chaotic interview I've done.
This is my favorite podcast I've ever done in my life. This is great.
Just came out of the washer and dryer everything this morning. Please continue, Adam. We are going to get this on track no matter what.
Oh, this is amazing. But yeah, you're sitting there and you're realizing, the button is red, not green. What do? Do I slyly just go over and tap? Because now I'm going to distract everybody around me.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, oh, are we not recording? And then it's going to kill the whole momentum. Or do you just let it go and you're like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to use the audio from the camera, clean it up somehow, and then figure it out. And you find those moments where you're like, okay, now I'm good. And everybody, oh, is everything good? You're like, yep, everything's fine. And you just keep going. But that's the biggest thing is you have to be your own QC, your own editor, your own tech person. Sometimes that's exhausting.
Yeah.
Really exhausting, especially when the setups get more complicated, or it's like, hey, this week we're going to have 6 people in the studio for a podcast. Great. We have 4 inputs for our Rodecaster or whatever, our sound recorder. How do we do this?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're always troubleshooting all the time.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had I interviewed the cast of K-pop Demon Hunters and the lead actress Arden Cho, who's like doing all this work and like movies and shows. She's like, people. I didn't say anything to her about it because she had her own YouTube channel, and she was because like she's a really fantastic actress who's working on these huge projects right now. And she's like, no, she was telling how like she doesn't want to commit to the YouTube side because she's like, people don't realize how difficult it is. And I understand, like when you're looking at reaction video or even podcasting, like this, the idea is it's supposed to look, they call it effortless for a reason. It's because it's supposed to look like it takes no effort.
Right. Which it can. You can do with no effort.
Yeah.
But then people are going to complain. It looks like crap. It sounds terrible. I can't hear anything. It's like to get it to a point where everything looks and sounds clear.
Yeah.
It is effort.
Yeah. And also the other side of what I was saying beforehand is professional feeler is what I was saying because I once heard of that as an acting term. You got to be a professional feeler. And I kind of feel like that's what reaction videos, at least my personal belief, is a big core of why I love doing reaction videos is, I feel more engaged in a movie these days more when I'm doing a reaction than when I'm at home.
Sure.
Because I'm not
no
distracted.
distractions. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like either the movie theater or doing a movie reaction or a show reaction because my observant eye is like, I can't be anywhere else but in this thing. So it is like the movie and show is now my scene partner in a way. And I'm feeling off and feeding off of that. And it does become this like expression exercise. And the question of like, what is an authentic reaction is like such a bizarre thing to me, because it's like some people want you to kind of just be like, no, we want it to be like there's a hidden camera in there and people don't know that you're there. But I'm like, no, it's not that. I'm aware there's a camera here and I'm sharing an emotional experience, whether that be happy, joy, sad, angry, whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of just like going on a tangent in my own mind just to lead to this. What is been your emotional experience with the actual reaction videos itself? Have you found like worth or purpose at all in doing the actual reaction videos, or are you just kind of producing content right now?
No, I surprisingly, because it was when we started doing it, it was just trailers for the longest time. Yeah. We did trailers and then we did movie reviews. Truthfully, a lot of it came from because I watched you guys. I watched you and John do stuff. And I was like, oh, they're doing trailer reactions and those seem to be doing well. Like, we should try it out. And then we were like, no TV shows. It's too much of a commitment. I don't want to do 26 episodes of The Flash. I think I'll burn out. But eventually once COVID happened, all that stuff, we started doing it. And I found a lot of joy in doing it, which really surprised me because I didn't think I would. I thought, am I going to feel like I have to like hem this up?
Right.
Because I've never engaged with my media like that. Because when you go to the theater, you're having a one-to-one relationship with what you're watching, and your reaction, you don't really pay attention to what your reaction is necessarily. If it makes you laugh, but you don't pay attention at what level you're, but it's different when you're on camera and there's people around you and you're talking about what's happening, and then someone says something funny in the movie and you all start laughing, and like his laugh makes me laugh even more. So it's a very different experience. And I've definitely have enjoyed it quite a bit, especially when it's something that is really surprising. Like we watched the first episode of Invincible season 1, and we were reading the comic book at the same time, and they moved some of the events around. And when you get to the end of that first episode, and Omni-Man just starts to like murder everyone, we were like, oh my God, they're doing this now. And it was like the way it was animated and everything. So I think it really just depends on I think your environment has a huge influence, but it is also like, what are you watching? And is it something that you're really into? Because we tend to try to not watch things that we know out the gate will be like, I don't think you're going to be into this. As much as our audience is like, please watch this. I'm like, it's either it's like a genre that I'm not into or a style of filmmaking I'm not into. Sometimes it's a filmmaker, but that's not usually the case. But yeah, I feel like 9 times out of 10, everything that we watch, we're really engaged. And I think it helps that we're together watching it. And we're not in the same room a lot of the time, but when we are or when we're not, at this point, it hasn't really influenced our reactions in a negative way, I don't think.
There was one thing I wanted to talk with you about, because we have teetered on this subject in our passings. I think I even brought it up when before the screening of Fantastic Four, because you were like, you brought up Jurassic World, and I was like, oh no, I had to. I'm one of the people assigned
when
to
we were in
react
line
to
getting
it.
popcorn.
And I was like, I'm the one assigned to react to it. I can't watch it, and I am very particular about like, if it's going to be a movie reaction, I have to skip it. And as you've been growing in this game of the reaction stuff, because I've seen it happen with people. I've talked to media nights about it, where it's like, all right, we skipped Deadpool and Wolverine, but no more Marvel. But then I see them still skipping the Marvel movies because it's like, it becomes you're hooked into it. And my personal opinion with me, it becomes conflicting because, of course, I love the theatrical experience. It's a big part of what's influenced me. But then sometimes I do have that feeling where when I am watching, I'm like, oh, I wish I was doing a reaction so I could share this experience. Like, it was weird. Like, I love Thunderbolts. It's probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. And to be able to do the reaction for it, then go into this deep dive conversation, I was so happy I did a reaction and didn't see it in the theaters the first time. But where are your feelings on this? That's my quick opinion. I mean, I don't even have a solid opinion. I'm constantly in battle mode about it. But what is your feelings about it?
I was not in battle mode as much about it as I have been in the last like 3 to 6 months, because a lot of we'll like, for example, we watched Deadpool and Wolverine in the theater, and then when it came out on streaming, we rewatched it, and the audience was very torn about that. They were like, why are you doing this? You already saw it, don't even bother. I'm like, oh, so is my opinion no longer valid about the movie? So then I started to think of like, well, what if I just waited until it came out on VOD? I struggle with it so much because I love the theatrical experience so much. And like you mentioned at the very top of us talking, I'm a format guy. Like if something's available on IMAX 70 millimeter, I know how rare that is. And I know that's incredibly limited. So I want to go see it that way. I don't want to risk waiting until something comes out on VOD to then try to find, oh, maybe they'll do a re-release in a year. I really want to experience it the way that it was kind of meant to be experienced. So for something like The Odyssey, would that drive a lot of viewership to a first-time movie reaction? Hell yeah, it would. If I waited all the way, because with Oppenheimer, I think we waited like 8 months or something before it was on streaming. I don't know if I have it in me to wait because I just care so much about the community experience of watching it together in a theater. Which has gotten us thinking in the last couple of weeks of like, what if we rented a theater while the movie's out?
Yeah.
And recorded something in the theater.
Maybe Real Rejects and Heroes Reforged.
Who would let us do that?
Jump in on this game because, of course, we've had the thought as well. Like, what is the version where this is accessible? You know, like, because it's like with the VOD side, just to sidetrack a little bit here. What I think reaction channels have contributed to, like, not just like us, I'm talking like reaction channels in general who wait for the VOD specifically, is that the VOD has a bad rep often. You know, it's a lot of times it goes to VOD like so early because it's not doing well in theater, so then it looks like second fiddle. People are like, why would I pay for this? I should just wait on streaming. So it's kind of in this weird purgatory where people don't really know what to do. But most reaction channels have a Patreon where you can do a full watch along. And so many times people will tell us, we bought this movie, we rented this movie because we wanted to do the watch along with you. Like, I can't tell you how many times we see that comment. And studios, that is one of the ways they rely on a movie to gain. If they don't meet that threshold in the theaters, they're going to want to meet it on VOD in some way. And so to me, I'm like, oh, we are in our own way, like actually helping to contribute to the studio or the movie in a way. So I like that helpful side to it. But then again, there's it is the experience side where the conflict does rise within, because it's like there's always an excuse. When I was doing this, when it was just me for most of it, or it was primarily just me. I don't think it was like a situation where it was only me, but it was primarily just me. You know, I'm self-concerned about my own bills and survival. And then whenever more people get brought on board, I'm like, then I'm super concerned about everyone else, like all the time. And the bigger this has gotten, and now that we have an off, I'm so concerned about everyone. And making sure everything's going. So then I'm like, oh, but we need to definitely still keep this like VOD thing going, and everyone wants to see Odyssey, and we're at a point where like I'm like, am I going to be the one who has to skip Odyssey? You know, So it's just
those, those are conversations we have too. Of like, well, if I don't go see it, will you go see it? Or like, because then the whole conversation also is like, well, what if we put a out of the theater reaction on YouTube? Is that like still worth doing? Is it not worth doing? Because with us it's only 3, so it's like, who's gonna be the guy who takes the hit? And is gonna be the one to see it. And we struggle with that literally every week. Every week we talk like, are you gonna go see this movie? Okay, should I go see it? Should we wait till VOD? I think out of the 3 of us, I'm the most unwilling to budge. I want to go to the theater to see it. Augustine is the one who's the most like, I'll wait and watch it on the channel. Hector,
that's my John and Andrew.
Hector's very much like, depends on the movie. If it's in 3D, because we also love 3D. 3D Blu-rays are hard to get. They're also only in theaters for a set amount of time. So it's like, but if I don't see it in 3D in the first 5 days, I may never see it again. It may never get a release. Or we have to import it from Japan. It's going to take 6 months to get it or whatever. So we struggle with that a lot. And I would like to do more of it. I think for me, it's really just going to come down to, it just has to be movies that fly under the radar, or I hate to say it, but I don't feel as precious about seeing in a theater.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's got me like, I just had a thought that I don't know if I've ever quite had this thought as you were talking, is when I was first doing this, essentially like in my ex-girlfriend's back house secretly, and then eventually in like it was called a 1-bedroom apartment, but really it was a studio apartment with a wall.
Yep.
And doing it there, and not going to college, or I don't have a high school diploma or anything. I've made this channel. I put it first before everything in my life. I made this the first. This is my Real Rejects is my baby.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, every time we've talked about it, you're always like, gotta do for the channel, for the channel. Like, I get it, dude.
Still me, and that's what like the love hate. When I hear Eminem talk about his love hate relationship with rap, that's where I'm like, I kind of get that with YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, it's messed with my personal life, it's messed with my relationship at times, it's messed with all that, and now it's like, oh, this movie experience side too. I'm like, oh, I really need to be better about understanding that as well, because I do treasure it, and we try to make up for something. Like for Superman, I was like, okay, if I'm not going to do a reaction to it, well, let's do the theater. Let's do the spoiler review. Let's do a live stream. Let's do all the things that to like, how else can we derive an experience out of this that if we're not going to do the reaction side to it.
You guys are very good at doing that. You guys are really good at like taking one movie and figuring out how to like take every experience out of it and put it out there for people, whether it's out of the theater or a theater review or doing a VOD reaction or whatever. We are horrible at that. Really bad at that.
I think though, as you guys as hosts though, and as sincere communicators, I think you guys are like fucking awesome. And there's a reason why Simon Pegg shouted you guys out. Out of like a billion people did trailer reactions. Yeah, there's a reason that you guys specifically were shouted out.
Yeah.
Damn you to hell.